It's senior day, and we've got a lot to go over, including looking back at some of our best moments from our time at OwlSports Update.
We've got 12 seniors in the house to talk about and cover 6 different Temple sports as we wind down the semester.
I'm Jason Alonso, live from Franklin Field where the Penn Relays are currently underway. Later, we'll give you a sneak peek at how Temple prepares for the largest track meet in the country.
And I'm Morgan Killian Mosley, live at the studio set. I'll give you an in-depth look at lacrosse's must-win matchup in the Music City against Vanderbilt. For the last time this semester, OwlSports Update is live, and it starts right now.
Hello everyone, and welcome into our final edition of OwlSports Update for this spring semester. He's Luke Milai, class of 2023, and I'm Matt Rainier, class of 2023.
Yes, today as we say goodbye to our senior class, we'll update you on some important news in the Temple sports world. That includes the biggest track meet in the country, but we start with a must-win game for the lacrosse team.
In the final week of the regular season, the Owls, they needed a lot to fall their way in order to grab a postseason berth. And on Saturday versus ECU, they earned the first piece of that puzzle in a must-win game. And lacrosse returning to Howard Field after their win over Old Dominion. This time, they're taking on the ECU Pirates in a must-win matchup. Belle Mastro PHO, she led the way for the Owls early in this one, rushing through traffic, firing on net to score one of her 4 goals on the day. And then later on in the afternoon, there's Maeve Tobin keeping it herself. The senior midfielder launches this one, falling as she shoots, but finds the back of the net to score. ECU looking for an answer, and Cameron Pennypacker has it. Her shot gets just past the goalie's shoulder to score for the Pirates. However, it doesn't take long for the Owls to respond. Julie Schickling, she takes this one herself along the left side, fires and scores. She finished with 3 goals on the afternoon. The Owls would score once more with Sabrina Martin as the Owls take down the Pirates 11-7.
This win over ECU came at the perfect time for the Owls. Despite a long losing streak midway through the season, the Owls find themselves on the doorstep of the postseason. OwlSports Update's Vartan Sarkisian, class of 2023, has the story.
The Temple lacrosse season has definitely had its ups and downs, but with 1 game left, the team still has a chance to sneak into the AAC tournament.
The story of the season has yet to be really written in terms of how it's going to turn out result-wise.
The Owls started conference play with 3 straight losses, but back-to-back wins against Old Dominion and this past weekend here against ECU has the Owls on the doorstep. Temple needs to beat Vanderbilt on Saturday, but also they need ECU to lose to the top-seeded James Madison. That combination gives them a ticket to the postseason as a 3 seed. Anything else will send the Owls flying home. A spot in the postseason might seem odd for a team who went a month without a win, but getting in would not only show the determination of this year's team, but would also set up some building blocks for the Owls, who are very young.
The thing that people aren't seeing enough of is how talented this freshman class is. We have a big and talented freshman class that I believe are going to be a driving force for the next 4 years. They are getting better and better right now. Like, they are not waiting till next year to be sophomores.
From 0-3 all the way to a spot in the postseason, it doesn't happen often. That answer comes Saturday at Vanderbilt. Reporting from the Temple Sports Complex, I'm Vartan Sarkisian, OwlSports Update.
We now know how much is on the line against Vanderbilt, so now it's time to dive into the details of the season finale. OwlSports Update's Morgan Killian Mosley, class of 2023, is live at the studio set to check out the game that could make or break the season. Hey, Morgan.
Thanks, Luke. The Owls go into Saturday afternoon's matchup in Nashville against Vanderbilt knowing they need help to claim a spot in the AAC playoffs. But they should have a little extra motivation for this one. Remember, it was Vandy who knocked Temple out of the playoffs last year in an overtime heartbreaker. And while the Commodores have already been eliminated from playoff contention, it'll be their senior day, and they'll be more than happy to play spoiler to the Owls. Now, if Temple wants to stop that from happening, they'll need to stop a well-balanced Vandy offense. Sophomore Nancy Halloran, senior Paige Finneran, and fifth-year senior Bree Gross have helped fill the void left by the graduated Gabby Fournier, who scored 4 goals against the Owls in the AAC playoffs last year, including the game winner. Now, as Vartan mentioned, here's the road to the postseason. The Owls need to get the job done against Vanderbilt, and they also need help. They need James Madison to beat ECU. If that happens thanks to the second tiebreaker, goal differential, this combination would give Temple the 3rd seed. The Owls would play Florida, JMU and ECU would play each other in the other semifinals, and Cincinnati would be on the outside looking in. And remember, this year, the tournament is at Howard Field, so the Owls would have a distinct home field advantage against the Gators if they get in. Reporting one more time from the studio set, I'm Morgan Killian-Mosley. Luke and Matt, back to you.
Thanks, Morgan. Seasons continue to wrap up for every sport around campus. The track and field team is getting set for its final outdoor competition before the AAC championships in May. The Owls take the 15-minute drive to Franklin Field for one of the more exciting sporting events from coast to coast. We now send it over to the man who's already at Franklin Field to look ahead. Jason Alonso is live to run us through the Penn Relays this weekend. Hey, Jason.
Thanks, Luke. The Penn Relays are underway right now at Franklin Field in West Philadelphia. It's not only the largest track meet in the U.S., it's one of the largest in the world. And this weekend's college division alone includes about 115 different schools, with Temple being right in the mix. Temple Track and Field has traveled up and down the East Coast for its away meets this year, but the meet the team is most excited for is the one just a few miles down the road.
It's a very historic meet, and it's very, it's built a name for itself, and so just to qualify to be there is like a huge accomplishment, so just to be able to participate in that kind of an event.
History that the Penn Relays has, this is the ultimate event for us to go to and try to make a mark for our own school and the team here at Temple, and that's what we're trying to do this next coming weekend.
The Owls are one of hundreds of high school and college squads from around the globe competing in this historical event, taking place here at Franklin Field for a remarkable 127th straight running. And the team's goal is to show out in their hometown before the home stretch of the season. The sprint medley team has been the most impressive at the relays the past few years, breaking its own school record at the relays last season. Shelby Elam, who has competed in the relays since her high school days, hopes to repeat this season in what might be her final appearance at the event.
The next few weeks, I think we just want to finish out strong. The season's been up and down, so I think we're just going to try our best to push ourselves and end it on a high note.
Temple will send 11 competitors to represent the school in 8 events throughout the weekend, including relays and sprints, in addition to the high jump, triple jump, and pole vault. The Penn Relays isn't the end of the line for the team, though, as they finish their season with the AAC Championships in Tampa, starting May 12th. The collegiate events will run Thursday evening through Saturday. Live from Franklin Field on Penn's campus, I'm Jason Alonso. Matt and Luke, back to you guys on the desk.
Thanks, Jason. We're up against our first break of the show. When we come back, we'll take a look at some players that are succeeding in the classroom and on the field.
And since it's our senior show, we'll have 2 new anchors on the desk as well. OwlSports Update will be right back.
Welcome back to OwlSports Update. Alongside my good friend Brielle Berry, class of 2023, I'm Emily Cochran, class of 2023.
It is our final time being on the desk, and there isn't anyone else I'd rather be up here anchoring with.
I'm so sad. Temple Athletics celebrated the 20th annual Stella Awards on a Tuesday night. 400 student athletes were honored right inside the Leocourt Center.
OwlSports Update's Tatiana Harris, class of 2023, was at the Stellas and is live at the studio set to tell us more. Hey, Tatiana.
Yes, while student athletes spend most of the year in jerseys and in cleats, they finally get to have their glam red carpet moment at the annual Stella Awards, a banquet to recognize and celebrate student athletes and their efforts throughout the year. Starting with the newcomer of the year, no surprise for the men's side, the winner is E.J. Warner after breaking many school records this season. The humble QB, however, attributes his success to the help of his teammates and his coaches. Temple's favorite women's tennis duo wins at doubles on the court and at the ceremony. Jamie Waite and Maiko Uchijima were collectively the Women's Athletic Performers of the Year winners. I also want to commend Emma Berry of Temple Women's Rowing. After facing what was thought to be career-ending injuries, she continued to remain dedicated to her team and was able to slowly work her way back to the Varsity 8 boat.
It's really great. It's not been easy, but like without this school, I couldn't have done it. Without my trainers, without Pat, my PT, and like all his students, I couldn't have done it without them. And yeah, it's been ups and downs. Didn't know if I would do it at times, but it's definitely been worth it.
It's time to play the acceptance music because I am out of time. Emily and Brielle, back to you two on desk.
Thanks, Tatiana. Let's take a closer look at these award winners. The women's gymnastics team received the award for Best Team GPA. Megan Phillips from field hockey received Female Sports Scholar Athlete of the Year. For community service, it was Taylor Davenport from volleyball who stood out the most. And finally, Comeback Student Athletes of the Year were awarded to Emma Berry from rowing and Zach Gill from football.
Men's soccer's Jimmy Letter received the Community Service Award. Trent Tigalar from the crew team was awarded Male Scholar Athlete of the Year. QB EJ Warner was named Newcomer of the Year for his record-breaking season. And Athletic Performer of the Year went to Connor McGrath from the men's golf team.
Lots of celebrations this time of year, including the debut of a very special boat used by the men's crew team. OwlSports Updates' Cam Murray has all the info right on the water.
The Temple men's crew team is set to race this Saturday at the Bergen City Cup Championships right here in Philadelphia. But prior to the first stroke in the water, all eyes will be on one boat, nicknamed the Professor. In March, the boat was donated by Scott Gratson, who is the Director of Communications at Klein College and a longtime lover of not just the sport, but also the team. On Saturday at 9:30 in the morning, there will be a boat christening ceremony, which will take place before the Professor's racing debut. I'm Cam Murray reporting from Boathouse Row. Guys, back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Cameron. Moving to the hardwood, the women's basketball team lost 4 players towards the end of this past season, but have already started to address some of the issues during this offseason. OwlSports Updates' Liam Andel, class of 2023, is at the studio set, and he's here to tell us more about who the team has acquired and what other positions they need to fill. Hey, Liam.
Thanks, Brielle. The Temple women's basketball team is wasting no time adding to its roster this offseason. Demi Washington is a graduate guard transfer out of Vanderbilt. Now, while her stats may not jump out to you, averaging just about 5 points per game, she brings a lot of experience, starting in 41 total games at Vanderbilt over 3 years. Richardson described her as a big guard with length and expects her to apply a heavy defensive pressure on opponents, which Temple desperately needs as it ranked last in the AAC in points allowed last season. Another spot that the Owls struggle with is on the boards. Temple is down a forward with Coranda Perea hitting the transfer portal. Actually, she just went to Tulsa the other day. Now, Temple's going to be looking for another body down low in that transfer portal to go along with Ines Piper and Denise Solis. There's still plenty of time for Richardson and her staff to add to the roster before the season begins in November. Reporting from the studio set, I'm Liam Mandel. Brielle and Emily, back to you on the desk.
Thanks, Liam. In just 4 short weeks, I will be packing up my stuff and moving to Springfield, Illinois, where I will be working at WICS-TV as a sports anchor and reporter. I can't thank you guys and everyone here at OwlSports Update enough for all your love and support these past 4 years.
30-minute shows certainly aren't long enough to express how much everybody here means to me. Thank you to my OSU fam for the experiences of a lifetime, advice from old friends and mentors, and most importantly, the laughs we made along the way. I know that sounds so cheesy, but it's so true. I'm officially OSU retired, and for the last time, OwlSports Update will be back right after this with a new anchor team. Stick around.
Welcome back. I'm Meg Doyle, not the class of 2023, along with Matt Rainier, who's back on set. I had to hop on for one last edition of Twitter Talk. You know the drill by now. You pick your favorite athlete out of our 4 choices.
And we picked the top 2 athletes who also happen to be seniors. Let's get started with the final edition of Twitter Talk with M&M.
My final pick is Sophia Galati, a senior on the track and field team. Galati is a versatile athlete competing in sprints, hurdles, shot put, and long jump, just to name a few. Last season in the AAC Championships, she got the top mark in the 100-meter hurdle with a time of just under 15 seconds.
Did I mention that she's also in ROTC? This girl is great. I mean, that means 6 a.m. training sessions. If that isn't impressive enough, she's also the social engagement coordinator for the Student Athlete Advisory Committee. I'm tired of just thinking of the schedule she must have.
She definitely has a hectic schedule. And for my player, I'm going with Julie Schickling. Now, today we talked about a lot of lacrosse this year, and for good reason. And today's our senior, so maybe it's coincidence the senior attacker, she had a great day for them against ECU. She had 3 goals on the day, and this last goal summed up her play perfectly this season. Taking it herself, scoring on the left side. She currently has 25 goals on the season. That's good for second on the team, just behind Belle Mastro Pietro. Now, Belle is kind of the star of this team, but Julie, she's just as versatile as a scorer. We saw her take it up the left side. This time, she's going to sneak it in just past the goalie's foot to score once again. And the Owls, they're making a late push to the playoffs. So this performance could not have come at a better time for her and for her team.
Absolutely. Now, for the last time from this anchor duo, this has been Twitter Talk with N and M.
We now go to Ricky Turner, class of 2023, who has the latest on women's volleyball from the studio set. Hey, Ricky.
Thanks, guys. 8 former Owls returned to campus this weekend to play in the team's alumni game. On Saturday, some familiar faces flocked back to McGonigal Hall for this reunion. Their time at Temple varied, with players such as Kristen Overton, who played all 4 years at Temple, finishing second all-time in blocks. Conversely, alumna Emily Carlin played only 1 season, tallying 122 kills. Alumni were split up among 2 teams paired with the current players to create a semi-competitive environment to wrap up the spring season. This team will continue to practice and prepare for its 2nd season with Linda Hampton-Keith this coming fall. For the last time on TV3 studio set, I'm Ricky Turner. Jesse, welcome to the show. It's back to you.
Thanks. I'm Jesse Dimitrov, class of 2023, a December grad in the spirit of full disclosure. Men's soccer is in the middle of a rebuild with its new head coach, and this spring has been a growing process. OwlSports Updates' Max Green has more.
Thanks, guys. Temple men's soccer finished their spring season winning only 1 of their 5 spring games, and that came against Ryder on April 14th, where the Owls won 3-2. The rest of the spring season was filled with draws and losses for the Owls against George Mason, Bucknell, and intercity rivals Drexel and LaSalle. But remember, brand new head coach Brian Green is implementing a brand new system to his team. That's only going to take time to learn. And the Owls have plenty of that before the 2023 season kicks off. But reporting for OwlSports Update for the final time, I'm Max Green. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, Max. On to the links where Ethan Whitney had a great showing at the AAC down in Florida. The sophomore placed 5th overall, finishing 2 under. Despite his efforts, however, the Owls finished in last place, posting a score of 35 over par. Whitney will look to emulate former Owl Brandon Matthews, a current player on the PGA Tour, who also placed 5th back in 2016. Other Owls who made the trip to the Sunshine State include senior Connor McGrath, who finished at 5 over in a tie for 17th place. Additionally, juniors Graham Chase and Andrew Cron finished in 39th and 41st place, respectively.
It's time for our final break of the show. When we come back, we got something special for you on the other side of the break.
Matt, thank you for having me on. As always, it's been a pleasure. Stick around.
Welcome back. From California to Washington State, from Texas and Florida to Connecticut and Maine. After graduation, OwlSports Update students travel far and wide to pursue their careers. Regardless of where they end up, they're all connected by the experiences they shared here in TV Studio 3.
Graduation means familiar faces in new places, and OwlSports Update is no exception. OwlSports Update's alumni are starting off strong, right out of the gate, from 97.5 The Fanatic in Philadelphia to WGRZ in Buffalo.
We cover the Buffalo Bills, the Buffalo Sabres. So there's a lot going on up here, and it has been wonderful.
I'm hosting on the weekends, which is fantastic. I'm a fill-in producer now for whenever a show needs someone to quick hop in, run the board.
And it's not just former OSU students. This year's group of seniors is already planning out their next career steps.
You've come to the right place.
And for some, the transition to a professional environment is fast approaching.
Going to be living in the Midwest, Springfield, Illinois, accepted a sports anchor and reporter position.
So I'd be going up to Portland and producing there the news
and just doing a bunch of different things between TV and then their digital. It's very exciting.
Both past and current OSU students are starting off with great careers in the media industry, and a key reason for this is the lessons and the experiences they've gained from their time at OwlSports Update, as it's given them a key advantage over other candidates when looking for the next opportunity.
I tell people at work all the time and like show them the shows, and everyone's like, oh my gosh, like I feel like you're so much ahead of the curve.
I think OwlSports Update gives you that real-world experience that you don't get from one of your classes at Temple.
The media industry is one of the most competitive among any line of work, but for OwlSports Update students, their time with the organization has them well equipped to face the challenges they'll face when they get paid to perform, and it gives the underclassmen something to look forward to heading into next fall.
And those are just a couple of the many seniors and many of the prominent names that OwlSports Update has produced over the years.
And we have even more seniors on their way out the door. OwlSports Update underclassmen producers Natalie Caranda, Kylie Haberstroh, and Chloe Gessing helped put together a short video to honor their peers in the class of 2023.
The Temple men's golf team faces many adversities in the upcoming season, but that certainly isn't going to stop their push for success.
And not a single Philly cheesesteak in sight. The Owls had the chance to focus on football, bond as a team, and of course, explore a historical new city.
Mackenzie has had a lot of help along his journey, starting in his native country of Australia. It was there where Mackenzie joined Pro Kick Australia.
Temple says the search for a new head coach will take place immediately. We'll take a look at that part of the puzzle a little bit later. For now, I'll send it back to the desk with Luke and Emily.
However, it is their ability to be a natural-born leader and their chemistry with one another that are really apparent for the rest of the team.
But he's also been playing a large part in the team's double success with his new partner, Greg Barity. One factor that has led to their combined success on the court is their connection off the court.
With the regular season over, the Owls are now one of 11 teams in the AAC tournament, and they're looking to sweep the competition.
During the season, student athletes can have games and travel nationally up to 3 times a week. While they're taking long bus rides and catching flights, they must regiment their off time very wisely to accommodate their studies and other extracurriculars.
I don't know if my head is still spinning from Temple's loss to UCF, but I think I'm starting to see double Jessburgers. I've got Eric to my right, and wait a minute, nope. It's just OwlSports Update's very own Jake Jessburger to my left. No relation, by the way. Jake, thank you so much for coming on to the show.
Thanks for having me.
But Maran Delmas magic here, kick serve into the backhand of his opponent, rips it down the line, right into the Delmas wheelhouse right here. Let's take another look at it. What a thing of beauty when Delmas heats up there on the backhand wing.
They're going to be back at home at the link next week against Lafayette. Stan Drayton said they've got a lot to work on, but he's confident going forward. That'll do it for the OwlSports Update post-game show. He's Eric Jessburger. I'm Luke Milai. Thank you for watching.
And a special shout out to our white team. These shows wouldn't be possible without all our fantastic members. Thank you so much for all your hard work this semester. And now, guys, I have to say, these 4 years of OwlSports Update have been absolutely amazing. It's been an absolute honor and a privilege of mine to be able to work with each and every one of you, whether it was just for a day or for all 4 years. It's been incredible.
Well, that'll do it. For Morgan Killian-Mosley, Ricky Turner, Emily Cochran, Brielle Berry, Leah Mandel, Jake Jessburger, Max Green, Jesse Demich-Louvet, John Gutekunst, Tatiana Harris, Cameron Murray, Dane Hoover, Vartan Sarkissian, Jack Flynn, and Liam James. He's Matt Rainier. I'm Luke Milai, all from the class of 2023. Have a great day, everyone.